Alright, in this video I'm going to go over the melons I'm growing this year for 2023. And this is just a continuing of some of the other videos I've recently put out. I was just going over the seeds I'm growing for this year since it's a good time to buy seeds. Now, if these melons, I actually have some videos on some of these varieties and actually showing the actual plant, the actual fruit, weighing it, cutting it, because melons are my favorite thing to grow. So I actually have done a few videos on these actual plants themselves. So you can check that out if you want to. So let's start with one that's super common. This is open pollinated, so you can save the seeds, and that's the Alibaba watermelon. Now it comes from Iraq. Um, it's kind of very popular in the seed community. It has a very good flavor to it. It's definitely a variety people want to keep around. And if you haven't grown the Alibaba watermelon, give it a try. Now, I did have to buy some seeds for it for this year. I've been growing it for probably like 5 or 6 years because mine did get cross-pollinated, which can happen for sure. We're growing so many different melon varieties next to each other, and it got cross-pollinated. And I did save the seeds from it, actually a couple years in a row, and it still produced a watermelon. It just wasn't what the Alibaba watermelon originally was, and that cross-pollinated version just wasn't as good. So I did get some new seeds, which is why seed growers or seed savers that are especially selling to like a catalog, like they'll only grow like one variety of a particular plant to prevent that from happening. Another variety, really popular, is the Royal Golden Watermelon. Now, what's nice about the Royal Golden Watermelon is when it starts to ripen, the outer part of it is like a yellow golden color, a yellow orange. And when it's that fully nice yellow deep orange color, you know it's ripe. So it makes watermelon picking a little bit easier, and the flavor is really great too. And it's a very pretty watermelon on the outside with that nice yellow orange rind. I believe I have a video on this one as well. I think it's actually my most viewed video. Actually, it's Royal Golden Watermelon. That's another one. It's the Otome watermelon. This is a very small watermelon, like 1 to 3 pounds. It's a Japanese watermelon. The flavor is really good. It can be more productive, meaning you can get maybe like 3 or 4 watermelons off of one plant if it's right time of year, right area, and because the vines are like probably like honestly like a third of the size of like a regular watermelon. You can grow like more watermelons in a space, so you could plant more plants and overall get more watermelons. And they're more like personal, so it's like 1 to 3 pounds. Like I said, it's a Japanese watermelon, very popular. And if you didn't know, the Japanese are very serious about their melons. They have some interesting culture stuff over there where some melons they'll sell them for like thousands and thousands of dollars. Like they're perfect examples, and they sell them as gifts to people and stuff. So quite interesting. But they're very serious about their melons in Japan. Golden Jenny is a cantaloupe type melon, small, 2 to 3 pounds. By far the most productive melon plant I grow is a Golden Jenny. It is open pollinated. I've been saving the seeds from this for like 4 years now. Um, Overall, I think this is the number one. If you like cantaloupe, this is the number one to grow. One, because the size is great, and the plants are by far the most productive. Only downside, as with most melons, it seems like they all seem to get ripe within a 2 to 3 week span, which kind of sucks because you get overwhelmed, especially with this overproductive plant. But the Golden Jenny tops my list as the number one cantaloupe to grow, and the best part is you can save the seeds from it. Another great one to grow cantaloupe is the Ambrosia cantaloupe. Now, there's a hybrid. You are going to have to buy seeds when you run out. This plant is insanely productive, it's disease resistant, and it produces the most consistent size cantaloupes I have ever seen. Of course, it even says it right here. The uniformity on the size is mentioned on the package. It produces insanely uniformed size cantaloupe that tastes fantastic. Very sweet flavor. And these will blow anything out of the grocery store out of the water. And what's nice about cantaloupes, this includes the Golden Jenny and the Ambrosia. they're actually really more like muskmelons, but they detach themselves from the plant when they're ripe. And I've had videos on that actually showing that, I think on the Golden Jenny. So it's like, well, when are they ripe? The plant literally detaches itself from the plant automatically. Really cool thing about them. Worth growing if you like cantaloupe, super productive. And these are more like full size, but it produces very uniform sized plants. They're not all over the place. Great plant to grow. Another variety, a watermelon. This is a watermelon that's orange in the inside, green on the outside, and that is the hybrid orange Krush with a K, not a C, watermelon. The reviews on it were great, so I tried it out last year, and the flavor, spot on, really crisp, and it performed quite well, and it does have some disease resistance, which is nice. If you haven't tried it, if you like some watermelons a little different, an orange interior, try the hybrid orange Krush. The seeds are going to be a little bit more expensive, these hybrids, for sure, but you get enough seeds, you should be able to grow 2 or 3 seasons, depending on how many you want to grow, of course. And the last one we're going to go over, I actually have one more after this, but the last one I'm growing this year is a new type of honeydew. For me, I've never grown it. It's a hybrid, the Bodacious hybrid honeydew. Interesting name. It's a honeydew it has kind of a white to yellowish tint to it when it's ripe, versus just being a pale white that you see sometimes in the store. Sizes range from like 2 to 4 pounds. And it is a hybrid, so it's going to have some benefits to it. Obviously, maybe some more disease resistance. It's going to be a little more productive. What reviews I could find on it were quite decent. So definitely a variety I'm going to try out. Like I said, I haven't grown it yet, so I don't know how well it's going to do. But I like honeydew. And if you notice, honeydews, at least where I live, honeydews are more expensive than cantaloupes. And that's for a reason. Cantaloupes are way more productive than honeydews are. So they're harder to grow. Plants don't produce as much. And they just seem to they don't give the results. But what it's replacing is a variety I actually really like the flavor of. It's just very unproductive plant for me for the last couple of years. That's the golden honeydew. It is open pollinated, when you can say the seeds from. It's green in the inside, but it gets gold on the outside, like a gold yellow, and that's when you know it's ripe. Very good flavor, is fantastic. If you pick it when it's ripe, you really want that thing to be fully yellow golden. But when it's ripe, the flavor is fantastic. It's just the last 2 years, it's just not been a good performer. I think that the heat's getting to it. I'm not quite sure. The plant grows, it produces, it just, they seem not to be able to really get fully ripe very well without something happening to the plant or the actual fruit itself, due to too much rain, too much sun, whatever. It's just kind of a bummer to grow something and you maybe get like one honeydew off of one plant that takes up so much space. So we're gonna try a hybrid version of it. Anyway, that's all for this video. And until next time, I hope you have a good day. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment, because melons are my favorite thing to grow. I prefer fruit basically over anything. All right, have a good day.